Okay, hello, this is video 2. We're going to have a look at solving linear equations with brackets. So here we have an example of a linear equation with a bracket in it. So what this means, 4 bracket t plus 4, means we've got 4 lots of t plus 4. Four lots of 4 is 16, plus 16, 4t. So we don't obviously write it out like that, but that's basically what is meant here. And so all we do is we expand the brackets by multiplying the terms in the brackets by what is outside. So 4 times t is 4t, and 4 times 4 is plus 16 is equal to 8. So here we have t, it's multiplied by 4, and then 16 has been added on to get to 8. So the first thing we have to undo is the addition of 16, which is minus 16 from both sides. So 4t minus 16 is 0, so we've just got 4t by itself, and 8 minus 16 is minus 8. So 4t is equal to minus 8, so t is going to be, so we now have to undo the multiplication by 4, so we're going to divide both sides by 4, okay? So minus 8 divided by 4 is minus 2, so t is minus 2. If you check that, 4 lots of minus 2 plus 4, because remember t is minus 2, you're checking to see if that does work out to be 8. Well, 4 lots of minus 2 plus 4 is 4 lots of 2, which is 8, so it's true. Okay, so we expand the brackets. There is a different way of doing this actually. I'll just show you in red down here. So instead of doing it that way, so if you're a little bit more advanced, so 4t plus 4 is equal to 8. So therefore 1t plus 4 has to be 8 divided by 4, which is 2. So t is equal to 2 minus 4, which is minus 2. Okay? So you could do it that way because 8 is divisible by 4. You can do it that way if you like. It's entirely up to you, whatever you're the most comfortable with. Okay, so here we have example 2, and we have some negative numbers. Now, in order to work well with algebra, it really is necessary to be able to work confidently with positive and negative numbers. So that really is, an implied skill. So if you're a little shaky on that, please make sure that you brush up on that. Now, we're going to, first of all, expand the brackets. Minus 10 times s is minus 10s, and minus 10 times 5 is minus 50, and that is still equal to minus 49. So the next step, so we have s, it's been multiplied by minus 10, and then 50 has been taken away to get to minus 49. So we have to first of all add on the 50. So we're going to add on 50 to both sides. So that is just going to leave us with minus 10s on that side, and minus 49 plus 50 is 1. So now we have minus 10s is equal to 1. So the next thing we have to do is the multiplication by minus 10. So that means we have to divide by minus 10. So we're dividing by minus 10. So that's going to leave s is 1 divided by minus 10. And we can leave it like that. We can say that s is minus 1 over 10. Or we could say that s is minus 0.1. It doesn't really matter, okay? But what we do have to do, of course, is we have to check the answer. So we're going to check. So we've got minus 10 times s, which is minus 1 over 10, minus 50. Is that equal to minus 49? Well, minus 10 divided by 10 is minus 1. So this cancels out, and you've got minus 1. So minus 1 times minus 1 is equal to 1. So 1 minus 50 is minus 49. So yes, it is true. So our solution is minus 1 over 10 or minus 0.1, depending either on what your preference is or what the question asks for. Okay, so that's an example with negative numbers, a little more tricky. So here's another example then where we have brackets, but we've also got a fraction. Now remember that this means that 2 bracket 4w plus 5, all of that is being divided by 5. So we have w is multiplied by 4, then we've added on 5, then we've multiplied all of that by 2, and finally we've divided by 5, and that has taken us to minus 7. So the first thing we must do is we must multiply both sides by 5. That will leave on this side 2 lots of 4w plus 5. Minus 7 times 5 is minus 35. I'm now going to expand the brackets. So 2 times 4w is 8w, and 2 times 5 is plus 10 is equal to minus 35. So I've got w, it's been multiplied by 8, I've added on 10, and I've got to minus 35. So I'm going to go backwards. So the next step is to take away the 10 from both sides. So 8w is minus 35, minus 10 is minus 45. And then finally, we have to divide by 8. So w is minus 45 over 8. Now, we could write that as a mixed number. We could write it as a decimal. It doesn't really matter how we write it, as long as the answer is actually correct. So we're going to check it. Okay, to check this one, this value for w isn't the most straightforward value. You could work it out as a decimal and you could put it in there. But if you're working without a calculator, and I will show you how to do these things with a calculator, but we'll stick to working without a calculator to begin with. It's probably going to be easier if instead of having 2 bracket 4w plus 5 over 5, that you have 8w plus 10 over 5, and you use your value, w is minus 45 over 8, to check. Now if w is minus 45 over 8, 8w is 8 times minus 45 over 8. And the 8's just cancel out, so that's going to be minus 45. So this is minus 45. So from here, you've got minus 45 plus 10 over 5, which is minus 35 over 5, which is minus 7. So it does actually work out. It's not so easy to check the value of that one, but hopefully you can see how it can be done. I chose to just use the fraction of minus 45 over 8 because I could see that 8w would just cancel out that 8 there. Okay, so that's another example of linear equations with brackets. Okay, so here's some examples for you to try. Be very careful with your positive and negatives, and pause the video and come back to check the answers. Okay, so those are your answers. So I hope you got on well with those.